Welcome back in trackside once again, race fans, here to the Turn 3 Racing Network. Tonight, Swift MotorSports along with Performance Motorsports kicks off once again here from Atlanta Motor Speedway, Hampton, Georgia, hosting tonight's Bankhead 125 drivers back at a mile and a half. Will we see Bailey Dutton, who went to victory lane last week, get back to victory lane again? Much different track, much different night. We're going to see how these drivers go about doing their business here tonight. Pole position up for grabs, halfway off of the stopwatch, Bailey Dutton. Quick time here in qualifying. Let's get rid of the track information. Let's dive right into things. Let's get some of those qualifying times over there to the left-hand side of your screen. There you can see Bailey Dutton, top of the speed charts, 30:37. Quick time here in the Performance Motorsports qualifying session. Todd Cray right behind him. Todd, always one of those quick drivers we're going to have to watch out for. Al Likens, Jerry Cochran III, Gary May rounding out your top five. And it's going to be a quick night of action. These truck drivers have been on an absolute tear. Only 3 cautions in the first night of racing action at Michigan International Speedway. We opened up things with 3 cautions, no cautions last week at Charlotte Motor Speedway. How many will we have tonight? Looking for some green flag action. We'll see how it all unfolds. Will we get a repeat winner or another fresh face to victory lane? Can Bailey Dutton go 3 in a row, backing up last week's truck and Xfinity win? Will he be able to make it a doubleheader behind the wheel of his Toyota Tundra here tonight? We're going to find out just shortly, but before we do, how you doing? How you feeling out there in TV Land, race fans? Glad you could all join us here tonight. As always, you know who it is, bringing you all the calls from trackside. Speaking of trackside, getting in a late lap, Justin Gann gonna snatch the pole position away. Quick time now belongs to Gann. 30:57 is the fast time for Gann. An amazing lap right there. We're gonna get ready for pre-race festivities. Your national anthem and starting lineup. Don't go anywhere, race fans. We'll be right back.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker, the future is feeling.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly wailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets regular, the bombs bursting in air, gave
And bringing you right back in trackside after the flyover, drivers beginning to make their way to their starting positions. Final few moments through pre-race inspection. Everybody got to pass. Make sure the trucks are all legal out there. Don't want anybody with any type of unfair advantage. We keep things nice and even around here. So what do you say we go ahead, begin to look trackside as these drivers begin to make their way to the starting grid. As we already mentioned, two faces into victory lane so far this season. Roy Lane opened things up at Michigan with the race win last week. Bailey Dutton to victory lane. Will we see a third winner in 3 weeks here to open up things with the Performance Motorsports Truck Series? Or will we see our first repeat winner of the season? Both Lane and Dutton, very tough competitors. You're going to have to deal with both of those drivers before things are all said and done here tonight. 3 sets of tires in the pits for these drivers. Also going to have to play strategy coming in here. Atlanta Motor Speedway known to have long green flag runs. When do you pit? When do you get the tires? If we have a late caution or a mid-run caution, do you take that set? Then do you wait it out? Going to be a lot of varying things here tonight. Track temperature over 80 degrees, so look for the tail ends of these trucks to slide around just a little bit on the corner exit. We'll see how packed up we stay as we get set to get things underway here tonight. Looks like final few moments ticking off the stopwatch for these drivers to begin to make their way to their starting positions. So while we've got a time, let's go ahead and give a big shout out to our race control and admins up there calling everything down to the boss man in the flag stand and the man behind that pace car. Big shout out to Andy Starcher and Don Kidder. All they do behind the scenes keep everything running smoothly here with the Performance Motorsports Truck Series each and every Monday night right here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Know you're ready for some racing action. Drivers still making their way through pre-race inspection. Looks to be about 2 drivers down there having a little bit of trouble getting through pre-race tech. We'll see how they go. Looks like John McMillan Sr. now held up there by the race officials. Looking at the right rear fenders just above that right rear tire. So officials not liking something they see down there. They're going to get it corrected. I can assure you that. As word now goes to the pace car. So the boss man in the flag stand going to give them the signal and we're going to get set to roll. And rolling here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. You hear the sounds in the background. You know it's time to run down tonight's starting lineup, starting inside row number 1, snatching the Performance Pole Award here tonight, the number 30 machine of Justin Gann. Bailey Dutton going to start just to his outside with Mike Rominger and John McMillan Jr. back in row number 2. Row number 3 here tonight, Todd Crayfast as always. Al Likens just to his outside in that number 2 machine, the Bush 32 machine of Darren Clement. Inside row number 4 in that 7th position, Jerry Cochran the 3rd in 8th. Gary May, Ray Lane round out your top 10 with Tommy Haynes, John Wimbish back in row number 6, and in row number 7 here tonight from Atlanta Motor Speedway, Todd McGregor, followed by Jerry Cochran Jr. Lee Campbell, Logan Rami right there in row 8, row 9, McMillan Sr. and Ben Miller. Shane Bliss, Stephen Ayers Jr. will round out the 20 truck field here tonight. So as we exit off a 4 pace car in, music fades, and away we go. Green flag flies for the first time here tonight from Atlanta Motor Speedway. The Big Head 125 fires off. And quickly under caution, looks like we have some problems here. Jerry Cochran III going to get caught up, have a little bit of issues here at the start of the race. Let's go check the replay. The Simbox replay going to show us how it all went down, what happened here. There you can see 72 up the racetrack, and just the truck just seemed to snap loose right there. Let's get a... Do we got the drone over there, guys? Was the drone on the back stretch at that time? All right, thumbs up. We're going to go to it here. Just look how this 72 just jumps out. No contact there. 32 not even close, and just up and around like something broke underneath that 72. Interesting little wreck there. So we're going to bring it to a crawl and back up front. With your race leader, the pole sitter, saving fuel, getting back to the tail end of the iRacing pace car. So a quick caution here. A little bit of... I don't even know what you would call that. Just a very awkward situation there. The 72 of Jerry Cochran III, the truck just seemed to jump sideways right there on about the middle of 1 and 2. First lap, opening lap. So I wonder if something broke. Possibly on that left front and just locked the tire, forcing the truck to just turn so suddenly like that. We don't typically see things like that. Hey, there's my man once again. Let's go back here. Let's take a look at that beautiful 21 machine. There it is. We talked about it, I believe, a week or two ago about the Ghost Energy drinks, and Todd must have been listening or went back and had somebody tell him, because that right there is absolutely the flavor, the brand, everything right there. The sour watermelon warheads, Ghost Energy, I'm telling you. If you can take sour stuff, if you like sour, I'm telling you. Those other guys ain't got nothing on it. Just saying. We're not going to call them out. You know the other energy drinks and companies, we ain't got to put them out there. They can do it themselves. Anyways, we're going to get back on track. Getting off subject very early here tonight. Fortunately, no other drivers caught up in this early incident. Only the 72 going to have that problem. Just jumping loose, jumping sideways there in 1 and 2. Only truck involved. He's on pit road trying to fix things up. Looks like he's able to make it out without losing a lap. So fortunate situation for him. He's going to keep himself in the mix. Gary May coming down pit road, the 5. Get a top off with fuel. Get another lap or 2 extra in the tank. As the field still getting ready to go, pace car light still on. We're going to go one more time around before we go back. Green flag racing here tonight from Atlanta Motor Speedway. And I wonder what this does to some of the drivers' mentality, right? I mean, the 72, you seen it there, no contact. The 32 was underneath him, no contact there. Had at least a half a truck length between them. No contact from the rear, and the 72 just jumped sideways. So, gotta wonder if any of these other drivers that were behind that, what maybe is running through their mind? Are they thinking about maybe backing off, playing it a little bit safer on this restart? I mean, we're gonna obviously we're gonna find out, right? I mean, we're here, we got to. But at the same time, we've been around these drivers long enough. We've been with this series long enough. These Performance Motorsports Truck Series drivers, they don't lay back. They don't really play it calm, play it cool. They race. They came to race, and that's what they're going to do. So we'll see who decides to take a little bit more of a conservative approach, and who decides, you know what, hammer down, let's get it done, let's get this thing underway and over with. We'll see if Justin Gane can keep that top spot away. Bailey Dutton going to restart just to his outside. No change there on the front row. Rominger McMillan Jr. still in row 2. No change for your top 7 positions. John Wimbish going to pick up a handful of positions on this opening lap, 4 to be exact. Ray Lane now inside of your top 10. So is our buddy Joshua Norwood takes that left-hand turn and brings the iRacing pace car back down pit road. We're going to get set to fire these machines off once again, and just like that, green flag flies once again in the Bankhead 125. In most of the field, single file already down there on that bottom lane. A few stragglers still up there at the top side of the racetrack running right here. You can see the Hooters, sponsor number 2 of Al Likens, not afraid to hang it out there all alone. Look at him scatter out down the back stretch and into turn 3, back 2 wide again. Justin Gann trying to manage both lines. Likens on a big run. Will we go 3 wide on the front stretch, 3 wide for second. Rominger on the inside, Dutton in the middle. Likens ripping the lift at the top of the racetrack. Rominger with a good run on the bottom. Going to take that second position away. Slide job coming right up in front of Al. Likens going to get a push down the backstretch. That's going to help, but that's going to put Dutton back at the bottom of the racetrack, chasing after second. Again, liking all the chaos going on, jockeying for positions. No carnage just yet, but the more those drivers fight, the less he's got to worry about somebody getting that run, battling for that top position. Still side by side, second, third, fourth, fifth on the racetrack. More battles in the back end of this field. Let's take a look just back there with Darren Clement, Ray Lane, John Wimbish, Todd McGregor, all right there. 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th. All throw a blanket over them. They're battles all over the racetrack. Still sorting things out front. Still sorting things mid-pack. We're going to jump around a little bit here. Jerry Cochran Jr. in a battle with Ben Miller. Back to the front once again. Side by side for the race lead. Rominger on the top side with help from Likens. 3v3 outside lane, gonna win the advantage back down into turn 3. We're gonna drop the timing and scoring this time around. Let you follow along and find your favorite driver in the field here tonight. That you can see once again, top 10, Rominger, new race leader for the first time here tonight at Atlanta Motor Speedway. New race leader, Mike Rominger, behind the wheel of that ChevyAccessories.com. Chevy Silverado going to take the top spot in a fast bow tie behind him. Al Likens going to push him to the lead, out the way, and look for his chance to lead a lap here tonight. Still up on the high side of the racetrack. Likens just likes it up there at the high side. He's going to lead the lap at the line. New race leader once again. 3 different race leaders, 3 lead changes in 12 laps here tonight. Fast-paced racing action at the front of this field. How about Logan Romney, man? Where did he come from? Romney outside of the top 10 to start tonight's race, and here he goes, battling inside the top 5, looking for a podium position already. That black and white number 7 machine looking quick here tonight. Impressive too, right? Romney, just an impressive rookie. Impressive driver. Has come into each one of these races, and although the season is young, only our third race, excuse us, only our third race of the season, but Romney, he's been right here. We've talked about him multiple times throughout the first 2 nights of racing, the first 2 weeks of racing action here with the Performance Motorsports Truck Series. Just late race woes seem to be the trouble. We're going to see if Romney can kick that bad habit to the curb, or if it comes back to bite him here once again here tonight. Into the outside wall a little bit. Gotta be careful. Don't want to get too many scrapes, especially down the right side of these machines too early here tonight. Single file on back pole sitter. Justin Gann going to fall to 4th. Dutton back to 5th. Todd Cray 6th, 7th is McMillan Jr., Ray Lane, Wimbish, and McGregor. rounding out your top 10 here tonight in the Bankhead 125. Cousin Jess, good to see you out there in the chat. Almost into the outside wall. We caught it a little late. Did you see Likens all sorts of out of shape? Whew. From the race lead, too. I mean, that lets you know how these drivers drive. It's a little redundant, huh? How the drivers drive. Gonna have to think that one over. Jump around the racetrack just a little bit. We're gonna go back to the battle here. You can see pole sitter sitting right there in that 4th position, 2 trunks back. Todd Cray, John McMillan Jr. right here in the mix as well. So a handful of big name drivers that we're used to seeing at the front are indeed at the front. And Romney to pit road. Romney to pit road. Tommy Haynes in the 17 also going to come to pit road. 2 Toyotas heading to pit road seemingly early here tonight. Wonder if that's a strategy call. Manufacturers working together here. We've got manufacturers battling with each other instead. At the front of the field, Al Likens and Mike Rominger still going after each other for the top spot. Handful of lead changes back and forth. 3 wide here with Justin Gann for a moment. 44 Ray Lane. He's no slouch. He's not afraid to stick the front end of that hyperdrive number 44 to the outside of his fellow truck drivers, looking to take a position away and indeed going to grab that 3rd and final podium spot early here. So a good move. Lane up 7 positions from where he qualified. Great run early here tonight for that 44. Todd Cray looking for some headway here. He's going to put that Ghost Energy number 21 to the bottom of the racetrack. Look to gain a spot over Bailey Dutton, struggling in that mid to high lane here. Looks like drivers starting to drop to the bottom of the racetrack a little bit more than the previous 5 to 6 laps. We've got big trouble. Big trouble for both Tommy Haynes and Logan Romney. Both on the pit road for an extended stay. Both of those Tundras going to lose a handful of laps now. Tommy listed 3 laps down. Romney going to have to get his machine going. 4 laps, 5 laps down. It's going to be hard to do. You might be able to get it done, but it's going to be quite a big ask to try to get 5 laps back. I mean, that's a tough one. Field works their way off of turn 4. We'll see him come into the picture right here in just a handful of moments across the start-finish line. Head down into turn number 1 once again. Here comes the field. Going to blow right by the cameras. And it looks like somebody lit a fire underneath that 21, Todd Cray. Making some moves here. Picked up a handful of positions over the past 5 laps here. Cray gonna make some moves. Get around Bailey Dutton, who's fallen back to the 7th position now. Make some headway and make his way by Justin Gann as well as Ray Lane. Cray now going to move in to a podium position, eyeballing the race lead. We've got a battle between 4 right here at the front. We're going to take a look off of the tail end of your race leader, Mike Rominger, carrying our Chevy onboard camera here tonight, looking over the rear deck lid at a hungry field, tracking him down behind. As the sun slowly begins to set into the background here in Hampton, Georgia. The Bankhead, 125 inches closer to just 100 laps remaining here tonight. One quick caution, lap number 1, we've been clean and green since the restart. 20 laps of green flag action now behind us as Rominger looking to start to step away. Side-by-side battle between Todd Cray and Al Likens, allowing that number 9 to scoot off into the sunset just a little bit. Justin Gann still right here, lurking, waiting to pounce on the opportunity should one of these drivers make a mistake. Quickly down to the bottom of the racetrack, he's going to give the 21 a huge shot all the way down into turn number 3. We'll see if Cray can hang on. Able to hang on, work their way back across the line. Still side by side for second position. Rominger going to start to scoot away at the front. Let's head back here around that 10th position. John Wimbish really ran up on the tail end of that number 26 machine piloted by last week's race winner Bailey Dutton. Dutton struggling with the handling a little bit. Maybe the dirty air getting to him just a little bit. You can see 32 going to go to the high side as Dutton heads to the bottom. Going to keep the clean air on the nose of that Tundra. It looked like the truck was a lot happier with some clean air. This far back in the pack, though, it is truly, it's hard to find true clean air, you know what I mean? Because just the air is so disrupted by all of these trucks running in front of you. Ooh, did you see John McMillan Jr., man? Right across the nose of that number 26 truck. Very close racing action here, even outside of your top 5. Just goes to show you what we were talking about coming into tonight's race. The level that these drivers hold each other accountable for. The level of racing action that they are accustomed to here in the Performance Motorsports Truck Series. Bar none, hands down, best truck series you can find. You can put the top split of iRacing's Road to Pro against them, and I can guarantee you 9 times out of 10, these Performance Motorsports drivers will wipe the track with them. I said it. And what? What are you going to do? I said it. It's true. Get over it. Todd Cray able to make headway. We mentioned it earlier. 10 laps ago. Started to make some moves. Now the 21 up to second, battling back in the pack now. Darren Clement, Ray Lane, 5th and 6th on the racetrack. Clement starting to make a run to the front late here. And this long green flag run, Mike Rominger, race leader, out to a 1 second advantage for the time being. Will Todd Cray be able to reel him in before the round of green flag pit stops begin? We're going to find out shortly here. Lap traffic shouldn't be an issue. Jerry Cochran III going to head to pit road this time around. So that fuel window looks like it may be opening up. And we got a hornet's nest right here, man. I'm telling you. Bottlenecked on the interstate. Here you go. Imagine doing it at 180 miles an hour. 'Cause that's what these truck drivers are doing. 7, 8 of them right here, nose to tail on the track. Justin Gann, Ray Lane, Darren Clement, John McMillan Jr., Bailey Dutton, Todd McGregor, all right here. Al Likens slow. Al Likens slow on the backstretch. Likens slow on the backstretch, and he's going to be pulling to pit road. Rominger, Clement, Campbell, Wimbish, Bliss, all to pit road. Todd Cray, new race leader for the first time here tonight. He's going to become our 4th different race leader. 8th lead change of the night. Now sees the Ghost Energy Sour Warheads Watermelon. Number 21, Chevy Silverado at the front of this field. Remember, back in the season opener, Cray dominating the race. Led a handful of that night. Did not win the race. We'll see what the strategy pans out for him. Justin Gann going to go back to the point for the first time in a long time. Your pole sitter Now back out front of this field. Green flag pit stops well underway. Todd Cray, Ray Lane, Todd McGregor, Ben Miller, all to pit road. This latest time by. Looking for those pit road police. Does anybody get popped? Looks like so far clean and clear. Coming on and off pit road. Little bit of a wiggle there by Justin Gann. McMillan Jr., Bailey Dutton also going to follow through. The iRacing sponsor number 51 of John McMillan Sr. also to pit road. Mike Rominger. Big race lead now. Came to pit road about one lap prior. Then the rest of the field, and Rominger has parlayed that into over a 3-second advantage. He may have just distanced himself enough. Man, that's gonna be. You see right there, Bailey Dutton down on the apron, still getting up to speed. Over 40-mile-an-hour difference on the speed charts. Dutton easily gonna lose time. Still over 3-second advantage for Rominger. Talking about checking out on the field, he has just absolutely went. And for the first time this season, pit road police are active, and they're gonna catch a trio of trucks. Todd Cray, Ray Lane, Lee Campbell, all busted for speeding on pit road. 30-second hold for each of those drivers. That's gonna put all of them one lap down here tonight. Big change of events. For those three fast drivers that were at the front of this field, they very well may need a caution at this point in time to turn their nights around. 4.8-second advantage. Let's go to the battle on the track. John Wimbish going to move the tide 56 cleanly. All pun intended. Cleanly into third. Now looking for second. And Dutton just seems to be struggling right here. Bailey Dutton up the racetrack, struggling, letting John Wimbish go by, not battling for that second position, not putting up a fight for the third position either. Looks like Dutton content to just ride, possibly save a little fuel, find a little bit of grip and handling, because the 26 is just not what it needs to be at this juncture in the race, or at this point in time. Great little race right here among a trio of trucks. Let's see, do we got Al Likens? There it is. Let's go to the Chevy onboard camera here tonight, the gyro cam. Inside of that number 2 machine, Al Likens piloting the Hooters truck. Looking to the outside, and again, Dutton struggling. You can see him down there on the inside. No match for the 3 to 4 lap fresher tires. Quickly, Likens right to the outside of Gann. Big run head full of steam. Now Likens gonna look to follow suit and chase down the drivers in front. The 45 machine also with an onboard camera here tonight. Much different race going on outside of your top 10. Ben Miller sitting in the 11th position, up 8 spots from where he qualified, cracking into the top 10 here. Makes a move off of turn number 2. A little bit of a wiggle. You can see the front end wiggle on this truck coming out of turn 2. A lot of turbulent air back here in this 5 truck battle. Who's going to win it? 32 of Darren Clement struggling on the high side, and 45 a little loose off of 4. How about Stephen Ayers Jr. with a great run so far here tonight? Let's take an up-close look at this number 62, the Ayers iRacing Paint sponsored number 62 machine. Out of the McConey Setup Shop stable of racing drivers, this man behind the wheel putting in work early here tonight, up 14 positions from where he qualified. Stephen Ayers Jr. looking to reel in a top 10. Gonna check in with last week's race winner, Bailey Dutton. That Toyota Tundra has just seemed to be struggling with grip here tonight. The handling just seems to be off. And you can see it right here, unless he is on a fuel strategy here. Which, I mean, they just came to pit road 10 laps ago. I don't... Unless he's going to try to save about 4 to 5 laps worth of fuel here on a second and possibly a third green flag run. Not quite sure. This is... I don't know. I think he may just be giving up a little bit too much time. You can see him already almost 12 seconds back now from Mike Rominger. I don't know. Maybe playing it a little bit too safe, giving up a little bit too much time early here tonight. Let's go back to Al Likens and Todd McGregor. Things heating up 4th and 5th on the racetrack. Half a truck separates the 2 and the 71, the throwback Mountain Dew machine. Cracked into the top 5 2 laps ago, making the pass on Todd Gray. Now looking for that 4th position. He's going to take it a lane to the high side. Looks for the position. Likens going to slide up out of 2. Likens slides up out of turn 2. That's going to cut the run off. The 71 going to have to jump out of the gas just a little bit. But we've got action at the front. Let's go up here. John McMillan Jr. and John Wimbish starting to battle amongst themselves. Wimbish able to track down that 15. And what a night for Wimbish right now, right? He's had a little bit of a rough go over the start of the first 2 weeks. Trouble at Michigan, some late race trouble at Charlotte last week, so a good turnaround here tonight in Hampton. The Tide 56, looking good, looking quick. Looks like he's got some pretty good handling behind the wheel of that number 56. We'll see if he can keep it up there. Meanwhile, field still battling for positions. The Hot Chili Wicked Racing number 82 machine of Jerry Cochran Jr. looking for a position down on the bottom of the racetrack. Not quite gonna get it. The 45 of Ben Miller gonna keep it wound up on the high side and keep the position. Race leader back across the line. Lap number 47 on the board. Tommy Haynes from inside the top 5 to pit road. Scheduled stop for Haynes here. He was on to pit road a lot earlier than the drivers he was racing with. So a good way to make track position, but he's going to give quite a bit of it up here. Going to fall multiple laps down. It looks like just a tough break here tonight for that 17. Great race, great strategy so far here tonight for the man out front, showing the way. His bow tie flexing in the win. The Chevy Accessories.com. The Silverado has shown the way for the majority of this second green flag run. Tire top 5 dominated by the Chevys here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Justin Gann, your fastest Tundra in the field. Can he really do anything with it? He's kind of a man on an island here. Lap traffic behind him. The 14 of Lee Campbell listed off of the lead lap. Will he work with Gann at all? It doesn't look like he's interested. He's going to head right to the high side and try to work his way around lap number 50 on the board. We are only 12 laps away from the halfway point. So quickly, the laps clicking off and quickly separating themselves. These drivers at the front. Rominger out to over a 3-second advantage. John McMillan Jr. with a 2-second advantage. Let's go to the bigger battle here Todd Cray listed off the lead lap. First driver 1 lap down, sitting in the 13th position. Bailey Dutton from the lead lap to pit road this time by. And this is where Cray has got to be careful too. Right, you've got drivers beginning their second round of green flag pit stops. You are listed in the lucky dog position. You gotta watch the track in front of you. If there's trouble, you have to avoid all contact at all costs. You cannot afford to give that lucky dog away. Not at this point in time. You gotta fight hard. And Cray, I can assure you, his head down and elbows up behind the wheel of that number 21 machine, still side by side. For the final podium position here, McGregor with the advantage on the high side. He's going to be able to keep the RPM wound up round the outside. I promise. See, what the issue is, guys out there in TV land listening, if you've been here a while, you know I have these moments. My brain just sometimes works way faster than what my mouth allows it to. So things kind of get a little wonky from time to time. Heavy battle for that third and final podium position gonna go away. Looks like Wimbish willing to concede the position for the time being. Doesn't want to put a 3-wide racing situation on the board. Right now, he's going to back up and allow McGregor to try to keep Cray at bay, but the 21 going to quickly jump to the high side. Todd Cray looking to get to the front, looking to unlap himself the good old-fashioned way. That battle, this 3-truck scrum, has allowed the two of Al Likens to creep back up into the mix. Likens sitting in that 5th position, 6 seconds behind your race leader. But closing in here to try to battle for a podium. What's happened to your pole sitter? Justin Gann falling through the field here. Gann going to lose the position. Now is the 82 of Jeremy Cochran Jr. going to work the high side. He's going to work his way around and into the 6th position. Your Performance Motorsports Pole Award winner having some trouble here. Let's take a look at another battle. John McMillan Sr. in the 51 iRacing sponsored Chevy Silverado closing in on a fellow Chevy. Ben Miller in the 45. Right there working their way off of 2 Bailey Dutton, much fresher tires. He's going to eat these drivers lunch right here, straight to the bottom of the racetrack. What's he going to do with the 45? He's going to head to the high side, and Dutton's going to easily make his way around this entire... Woo, look at Haynes. Fresh tires on Haynes. And the 72 chopping it up here at Atlanta. Back to the battle inside of your top 5. Let's take a look at it right here once again. There you can see Todd Cray still off of the lead lap. The 71 of Todd McGregor. He's got Likens and Wimbish going at it behind him on the racetrack. You can see John Wimbish made up a lot of ground here, but now giving it up late run. Wonder if there's going to be any changes to this 52 truck to try to get some long run pace built into it, or if we're going to see a continuation of the early pit stop. And there it is, Wimbish going to pull it to pit road. John Wimbish to pit road this time around. Got to be sure to slow it down. No pit road penalty at this point. You get a penalty now, and your race is pretty much going to be over with. We're just a few laps away from the halfway point. So what do you say we give it to you a little bit early? Let's go ahead with that mid-race report, your driver highlights and spotlights. And, well, we're going to have to postpone it. This driver's coming to pit road. Green flag pit stops underway. Rominger to pit road. John McMillan Jr. for the first time tonight going to lead the race. That's going to give us our 5th different race leader here tonight. Now 10 lead changes 71 of Todd McGregor also going to stay out on the racetrack. Jerry Cochran Jr., Justin Gann, Ben Miller, John McMillan Sr. yet to make their pit stops. And really, this is where it gets troublesome if you're Todd Cray. He's coming to pit road, 1 lap down at this point in time. Going to fall a 2nd lap down, I do believe, with the 15 of McMillan Jr. staying out. This is where things can get really sketchy. For that 21, should a late caution come out now during this extended green flag run, Todd Cray could possibly be trapped 2 laps down, able to get a wave around to get one of them back, but still trapped nonetheless. Gary May, Al Likens also possibly in that same boat. Man, you can hear McMillan Jr. coasting through the center of these corners. He's going to stay out halfway down the backstretch here. Mike Rominger on and off pit road, firing on all cylinders. Looks to be about a 10 to 20 mile an hour difference on the stopwatch. There it is. Flames out of the right side of the 15. He's heading to pit road this time around. Expect to see Justin Gann as well as John McMillan Sr. follow suit. Rominger back onto the lead lap. We're going to head around the track. Let's go back here with Mike Rominger, working his way off of turn number 2. Justin Gann skips pit road. Ooh, I know. But he was last to pit road on lap 33. So he may be able to go another lap or 2 here, but giving up a ton of time, staying out on the racetrack, I don't know. So we'll await the round of green flag pit stops to conclude before we give you that mid-race report, the driver highlights and spotlights. Your mid-race run down here tonight in the Bankhead 125, brought to you by the Performance Motorsports Truck Series in partnership with Swift. Want to give a big shout out to all of the drivers, teams, officials here at Swift Motorsports, everybody back behind the scenes at Performance Motorsports that make this thing kick off, that make this thing click on all cylinders. Big shout out to all of the fans out in TV land joining us week in, week out, supporting their favorite drivers. A big shout out also to all of our fellow and associate sponsors, Butt Kicker, as always, Premier Racing Setups, Beef Jerky Unlimited, as well as Dale Earnhardt Chevrolet. Just a lot of great people, a lot of great sponsors, and a lot of great racing. Long green flag run here now at Atlanta Motor Speedway in the Bankhead 125. We've seen the caution on lap number 1. We went back green flag racing on lap number 6, and we have had 60 laps of green flag action unfold before our eyes. 2 rounds of green flag pit stops. Mike Rominger back to the point. Lost a little ground this time, though. Rominger did have a 3-second advantage after the first round of pit stops. There you can see his fellow competitors lurking in the background. They have cut that down to under a 2-second gap now. Likens, Wimbish, right here with each other. And I believe that is Stephen Ayers Jr. Yes, it is the 62 of Stephen Ayers Jr. 62 with a little bit of trouble. And Todd Cray has issues and is into pit lane. Oh my, into the outside wall. Gonna pancake the truck off of that outside. Whoo. Almost seen another driver do it right there. Almost into that outside wall. Once again, I believe that right there was the 72 of Jerry Cochran, the third, almost into that outside wall. The 72 flirting with a little bit And my, how things have changed. Al Likens, your race leader now. Mike Rominger falling way back. What happened here to Mike Rominger? Can we go back, guys? Do we got a second? Can we go back and see that pass one more time, please? I know you got it over there. Go ahead and cue it up. We're going to jump back real quick. Little look back in time. Likens just with a huge run. Just right to the outside and nothing Rominger could do. You can see that pass right there. John Wimbish right on around. So again, Stephen Ayers Jr. helping the cause of a handful of these lead lap machines. We're going to go back live at the front of the field. Back at the point once again. Likens back to the race lead. Top three stepping away with a 4-car train of trucks. Out of turn number 4 this time around. Let's go ahead and give it to you. Let's get you that mid-race report. Driver highlights and spotlights will start right here at the front of the field. Showing the way for the moment. Behind the wheel of that Hooters number 2, Al Likens is your race leader, up 5 positions from where he started. Great run so far here tonight for Likens. John Wimbish, another driver with a great run, up 10 positions from where he qualified tonight. The Tide 56 Silverado looking quick here. John McMillan Jr., final driver in your podium positions. Only 1 spot gained here tonight for McMillan Jr. So backing up the qualifying times. Some great race pace. Still looking for a little bit more of that Chevy Silverado, but McMillan Jr. comfortably in 3rd. This man led a handful of laps, was freight train, and has since dropped back from the field. But a 5-second disadvantage now for Mike Rominger, the ChevyAccessories.com number 9. Gonna run in 4th. Rounding out your top 5, behind the wheel of that Mountain Dew throwback machine, 71. Todd McGregor with a great run, up 8 positions from where he qualified tonight. So a great bankhead, a 125 underway for the 71. That's going to be it for your driver highlights and spotlights. 20 trucks took to the starting grid. We have still got 17 out there on the track. Only 10 remain on your lead lap. It's a battle for the race lead. 1 lap truck involved in this one. Stephen Ayers Jr. listed 3 laps down here, sitting in between John Wimbish and John McMillan Jr. Will the lap car become a factor? Likens starting to scoot away at the front, starting to really separate himself. About a 4 truck length advantage over John Wimbish now, who's struggling to break away from Stephen Ayers Jr. Just looks stuck right here, towing these 2 trucks behind him. And how about Ray Lane? Man, Lane also one of those quick drivers in the 44 that just has struggled to get to where he needs to be. Listed as the first driver 1 lap down in the lucky dog position, but still just needing a little bit more. Lap number 76 now underway. Mike Rominger going to make his way to pit road. Looks like a little bit of an unscheduled pit stop. We're going to keep our eye on him down there. See if there's any work as we watch these drivers make their way out of turn number 4. Race leader's going to fly on by. There goes Likens, Wimbish, and McMillan Jr. as they head back down the front stretch and back towards turn number 1. Lap number 77 now underway. Bailey Dutton going to bring his 26 Tundra down to pit road. So pitting from inside of the top 5, Bailey Dutton to pit road. Al Likens clean it clear now, 1.4 and gaining over this field. That Hooters number 2 looking to check out, maybe have a little bit of wings when it's all said and done. Celebrate with the Hooters girls in victory lane. And you know, we haven't really talked about it. If you're a Chase Elliott fan, you know this paint scheme very well. Chase, known to run that black and orange Hooters paint scheme, especially we've seen it here in Atlanta. We've seen it at Bristol as well under the lights. So not a strange thing to see that Hooters sponsored machine out front. Al Likens showing the field how to get it done. With less than 50 laps to go in tonight's Bankhead 125, we've still got at least one more round of green flag pit stops to worry about. And couldn't these guys go? Could they really go from restart to checkered? I want to say flag to flag, because I mean, turn 1, lap 1 incident, and that's the only caution of the night. That's pretty much a clean race. I mean, in my book. I mean, just my opinion. You don't have to agree with it, but it is what it is. Let's see what we can see around the track. Not a lot of battles to speak of, but let's go back here. Mike Rominger off of the lead lap. Hit it on lap number 75, so he's got fresh tires here. Rominger listed off of the lead lap in the 10th position. Only lost 1 lap coming to pit road. And I don't think he's going to be able to make it to the end. I think he's going to have to make yet another stop. So I'm really questioning we coming to pit road. When he did on lap number 75, that was only about 15 laps after his second stop. So an interesting little strategy unfolding for Rominger. See how quickly he can make some headway and work his way back up to Al Likens. If he's able to make that pass before Likens heads to pit road, that's going to be the key factor on how things pan out and play out for this ChevyAccessories.com Silverado. Meanwhile, back here at the front, let's go back to it once again. There's Ray Delane. We talked about him staying out, having those fresh tires, listed as the first driver 1 lap down. And here he is, battling to try to get around John Wimbish, and then he's going to set those crosshairs on the rear deck lid of your race leader. And with Delane trying as hard as he is to get past your, whoa, contact. Ooh, close contact there. Again, there you see him. He's trying to make up that ground, trying to find that speed to get up there and get his lap back before the leader's pit. Darren Clement listed multiple laps down here. He's got much fresher tires. He's going to motor to the high side and quickly do away with the lead lap cars. I think you can hear it just out of camera view, but not out of earshot. You can hear that 2 machine cut the fuel. Let's listen this time again. Let's stay with this camera angle if we can. Let's listen here as this 2 heads down into 1. But we didn't hear it at that time. See, when we go to it to try to do it, it always happens. You know, I can never prove myself right. Is what it is. We're going to continue on here. Close battle, second and third on the racetrack. Wimbish and McMillan Jr. throwing haymakers at each other. Race leader to pit road. Wimbish to pit road this time by McMillan Jr. Going to reclaim the race lead. Keep it out on the racetrack. But here we go again. Will these drivers pitting now, will they have to make another pit stop? thing is all over the board, and look who is lurking in the background. Almost 15 lap pressure tires, and you want to know the advantage of fresh tires? Look at it. Eating them up. 10 car length, truck length advantage. Gone. In about a half a lap, Mike Roman going to work his way to the bottom of the racetrack and easily put himself back on the lead lap. Tail end of the lead lap, but still nonetheless on that lead lap, closing in on some of his fellow competitors out front. You can see Ray Lane raced his way back onto the lead lap. That's very important for both of those truck drivers. They gotta not get caught up in racing each other here, though. McMillan Jr. extending this one. He's gonna need about 36 laps out of a tank of fuel to make it all the way to the end. Not quite sure he's going to be able to get there. I don't think these drivers can get 36 laps of fuel. We've been proved wrong before with fuel mileage. Whoa, and we've got a driver locking him up coming to pit road. That's going to be the 44 of Ray Lane. I believe he's going to have an issue and on to pit road. And what does a late race caution do? We haven't even spoke about one of those yet. What does a caution do at this point? You can look over there to the left-hand side of your screen at that ticker. Only 5 drivers now remaining on the lead lap. That would throw a huge monkey wrench at this field, with drivers that have been at the front, like John Wimbish, like Al Likens, who are now listed off of the lead lap. Would they stay out for the wave around? If they do, that's going to put them on a much different tire cycle. Does anybody even have tires on pit road? Drivers, only 3 sets of tires on pit. We're seeing our 3rd round of green flag pit stops. So if we get a caution right here, does anybody have tires? Makes things a lot more interesting, I'll tell you that. Big gaps through all the field, stretched out here tonight. We're going to go back to one of our only battles. Our closest battle on the racetrack is John McMillan Sr. pulls to pit road. Battle between Al Likens and Bailey Dutton. It's going to be short-lived with about 10 lap pressure tires underneath that Hooters number 2. He's going to motor right around, no issues, no problems. We're 7 laps away from the 100 lap mark. We are over 85 laps of green flag action here tonight at Atlanta Motor Speedway. These Performance Motorsports Truck Series drivers putting on an absolute show. So you know how it goes. If you haven't already, hopefully you have. Showed these drivers some love and appreciation. Let them know you enjoy all of the racing action week in, week out, right here each and every Monday night on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Go ahead and join us in that push to 4,000 subscribers. Show these drivers a love. Drop the thumbs up. Click subscribe. Smash the bell over there with the right-hand side. Get notified anytime we go live here on the Turn 3 Racing Network, whether it's myself or anybody else back at the Turn 3 headquarters. We appreciate each and every one of you, each and every time you stop by. Without you, there would be no us, so thanks for sliding through once again. Thanks for coming on and supporting one of the best, greatest, fastest, high-caliber leagues that you'll find on iRacing.com, the world's #1 racing simulator. It's right here each and every Monday night. Once again, that's Performance Motorsports Truck Series. Justin Gann going to take over the race lead, but it's going to be short-lived. Al Likens going to easily make his way to the bottom of the racetrack and take the top spot once again. 31 laps of racing action remain. Will the 2 of Likens become our 3rd different winner of this season? Justin Gannon second, yet to make his pit stop. Mike Rominger pitted 20 laps ago. He's got to make another stop. John Wimbish going to move into the third position. He last pitted on lap 86. We expect to see him try to make it to the end. We expect to see race leader Al Likens try to make it to the end. So we've got 3 different strategies on the fuel right here, all within your top 4. How do you do that? 3 different fuel strategies inside your top 4. Crazy. Just as we mentioned those 3 different strategies, Justin Gann could have pulled to pit road. He extended the run as far as he could. He's going to head to pit road this time around. How much ground does he lose? How much time is lost here for Gann? He's going to easily lose a lap as he continues to fall down that scoring pylon. Race leader going to come off of 4, work his way through the triangle, back across the stripe. Lap number 98 now on the board. Just what a crazy night here tonight at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Drivers double file at the start of the race. Trouble in turn 1, lap number 1. The 72 gonna have some issues. Something breaks underneath the left front, kicks him sideways. No contact for the entire field. We have been clean and green ever since. Multiple different strategies, some pit road penalties mixed in there. Trouble out of that Ghost Energy number 21 of Todd Cray into the outside wall. He's been relegated to pit road for a long time here tonight, and it's going to be hard pressed to get that truck back on to the track here tonight. So just a very, I don't want to say odd or strange, but a different race unfolding here tonight at Atlanta Motor Speedway than what I think any of these drivers or team owners expected to see. Big gaps at the front of the field covering the top 5. The Likens with a 3-second advantage over John Wimbish. We've now got Dutton and Rominger heading to pit road. 3rd and 4th going to head to pit road this time around. That's going to allow John McMillan Jr. to leapfrog his way back into a podium position. Hitting on lap number 93. Man, that's still going to be a tall task. It's about 28, 29 laps on fuel. It's going to get close. 5 of Gary May with a good, solid night here tonight. No troubles, no issues for May inside of the top 15. The number 5 Chevy Silverado sitting in the 13th position. Shane Bliss. Great run for Bliss. Started basically shotgun Sally tail end of the field here tonight. And Bliss picking up 9 positions from where he qualified. He's going to move into the top 15, knocking on the door of a top 10. Bliss sitting in 12th and one of the few Fords in this field. Fastest Ford in the field. Let's take a look at him right here. That Hyperdrive Racing number 44 Ford F-150 firing off of turn 4 down the back stretch and into turn number 3, up 2 positions from where he qualified. Ray Lane just searching for victory lane here, and he's going to need some help. He's going to need a late race caution. We are under 25 laps to go. Al Likens with a pretty commanding lead over second place runner John Wimbish, who's got a 10-second advantage over third place runner John McMillan Jr. Jerry Cochran Jr. sitting in 4th, and John McMillan Sr. rounding out your top 5. So it's a junior-senior show Up at the front. Wimbish to pit road. John Wimbish gonna pull to pit lane. Ooh, this is making us worry about race leader here. And how about this? That 51 iRacing sponsored Silverado, final driver on the lead lap. 5th place in danger of being put off of the lead lap. The pace at the front has been torrent. Relentless. We've seen Rominger get the race lead and step away, open up a big gap. Green flag pit cycles negated that. The 2 went to the race lead, shot out of a cannon, walked away from his competitors, and now that race lead compounding into domination here. 13 seconds out front for McMillan Jr. Just wow. For Al Likens, we apologize. McMillan Jr. to pit road, and the gap is going to get even bigger. I don't think Likens can do it. What do you think out there, guys, in the chat? If you're watching out there in TV land over there on the YouTube side of things, maybe you're joining us on one of our other platforms. But if you're here on the YouTube side of things, does Likens have enough fuel? Does he have enough fuel to get to the end? He's got almost a full lap that he can give up to. Almost a full lap. Can he save enough? Is there enough fuel in the tank to even attempt it? I don't know. With some big names heading to pit road early, Gann, Lane, Dutton, Rominger, McGregor, all of them headed to pit road around that 88 to lap 105 mark. So those drivers not even flirting with having to go 20 laps. They're going to be hammered down here for the rest of the night. This 2 possibly trying to save fuel. Is he going to be able to save enough, number 1? But how much time is he going to give up in doing so? Looking at the speed charts, and it doesn't look like he's lifting a whole lot. We've got some telemetry, and it doesn't look like that 2 is really lifted very much at all. Guys, do we have that? Can we get that on board real quick? All right, we're going to go over there to the left-hand side of your screen if you can see it. 165 plus miles an hour coming through the triangle, 174.75 at the line. So about 10 miles an hour slower than what we seen earlier in tonight's race. But you also have to keep in mind, we are deep into this green flag run for Likens. So the speed and the ability to keep it up there at those high paces dissipates lap after lap. But still a lot of speed here. In comparison, let's see if we can do it. Shane Bliss right here behind him. Let's take a look right there. Shane Bliss, 177, 78, 80 miles an hour in the draft behind him. So the speed is relative to what his competitors are running. So it doesn't look like Al Likens is really saving any fuel here. So it's interesting to see him still extending this fuel run the way that he has, and going to continue to stay out there. Is John McMillan Sr. going to head to pit road? Man, I'm telling you, this is... I enjoyed these races as a crew chief. And there it is. There's the answer. Not enough fuel to get to pit road. How quickly can he get on and off pit road? You cannot speed. This is the money stop. It all comes down to this. If you make a pit road mistake now, the race win will be gone. No questions asked. It will be gone. Jerry Cochran Jr. is still yet to make his final stop of the night, but Justin Gann going to make short work of him. Gann going to move to second. Likens has got to get going. And here it is, battle for the race lead. It's going to be short-lived, and Al Likens giving up a ton of track position. He's going to fall all the way out of the podium spots. 12 laps now to go. And your Performance Motorsports Pole Award winner back to the point. Gann has not led a ton of laps here tonight, but will he lead the most important lap? He led lap 1. Will he lead lap 125? That's the big question. That's the big ask. How much does he battle with this 18 machine? 1.2 second advantage and growing. Bailey Dutton back in the mix. There you can see closing in on the tail end, the rear deck lid of that 82. Wicked Racing Hot Chili sponsored Chevy Silverado going to take the mid lane. Ooh, digging on the bottom. Working his way around. Bailey Dutton going to move back into second. So your top two, exactly how they started tonight's race, running 1 and 2. The teammates looking to have a solid night here tonight as 10 laps remain at the Bankhead 125. Thanks for watching. Thanks for joining us here tonight at Atlanta Motor Speedway. You're watching the Performance Motorsports Truck Series. Into pit lane rolls Jerry Cochran Jr. Ray Lane also onto pit road. That's going to change things up in your podium positions. Justin Gann still out front, but that's going to move Bailey Dutton to second and Mike Rominger back into third. So your top three, 1, 2, 3, exactly how they started tonight's race on the starting grid. 1, 2, 3 in line as well. Crazy. Absolutely. We're going to have to check in. Have we had this happen before? I want to say we have. We've covered a lot of racing here for Swift in a handful of their different series, whether it be right here with the Performance Motorsports Truck Series, the Ayers iRacing Paints Cup Series, or the Ayers iRacing Paints Xfinity Series. Great series here at Swift. Regardless of what machine you're in, we've seen a ton of racing with these guys. Always best in the business. Tough racing. Drivers, and it doesn't matter what machine you put them under. They've been in it all, like literally. But anyways, we're not going to get on a tangent, on a tear on that. We've got 6 laps remaining here tonight in the Bankhead 125. Your pole sitter now has company behind Bailey Dutton. 4-lap fresher tires. We know that fresh tires make a difference. But will 4 laps be enough of a difference to get the fellow Toyota driver up there to the rear deck lid in battle again for that top spot? Will he take the race win away from a teammate? We're going to find out. The high five from the boss man in the flag stand gives us 5 laps remaining here tonight in the Bankhead 125. Nose to tail off of 2, 1 and 2, down into turn 3. And we can hear some drivers cutting the fuel. You can hear some drivers cutting the fuel tank. Or cutting the gas, pushing in the clutch, clutching it to get to the end. These two guys, they ain't clutching nothing. About to have 3 laps remaining here tonight. The Bankhead 125 nose to tail. Your top 2, they were nose to tail on the starting grid. Both have led multiple laps here tonight. Both have fallen back through the field and had to work their way back to the front. And here we go down the backstretch. Final few miles in tonight's race. These drivers going for over 187 miles of racing action in about 180 miles of green flag racing action. Just an amazing job. Popsicle sticks on display, 2 to go. 3 miles of racing remain here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Side by side, drifting up again, almost in to the side of that 26, and I think that's going to be it. Wash your hands of the battle for the race lead. Bailey Dutton. Can he do it? Off of 4, and we're going to cross the stripe this time by white flag flies. Final lap here with the Performance Motorsports Truck Series at Atlanta Motor Speedway. The Swift bringing you your 1 to go. Less than a mile and a half of action remain in front of this man out front down the backstretch, heading into turn 3 for the final time. We'll watch him work his way through 3 and 4, coming to the stripe once again for the race lead. And Bailey Dutton going to be our first repeat winner, and he's going to go on a tear, string 3 wins in a row here with Swift. Competitors, you better watch out. This man is for real and is on a tear this season, coming to a victory lane near you. Just saying. An amazing job by your pole sitter. Justin Gannon going to come home second. Rominger back in third. But it's all about the man right here working his way off of turn number 4 through the tri-oval. He's going to give the fans in the stands a little bit of a smoke show. An amazing job here tonight behind the wheel. Bailey Dutton gets the job done once again. And as he enjoys his post-race celebrations, we're going to step away for a brief sponsored commercial break. Come back trackside with your post-race interviews. Don't go anywhere, race fans. We'll be right back.
the most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $400,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
And back trackside here at Atlanta Motor Speedway, we've become accustomed to long green flag runs, and we have been spoiled with yet another gem here. When the Performance Motorsports Truck Series, these drivers went for over 118 laps without a caution. An amazing job here tonight, and we're going to just dive directly and right on into things. Let's see if we can chat with the man that led a vast majority of tonight's race, but gonna walk away with the final podium spot behind the wheel of that number 9 ChevyAccessories.com Chevrolet. Mike, how you feeling, bud? Well, you had a good race. It looked like you had the right strategy going on there about mid-race, midway through the long green flag run. You kind of got off cycle. Was that intentional, or was it just a thing that happened?
I had to switch up my strategy because I ran 32 laps on the first run. I thought, well, I'll take tires because we only have 4 sets, and you pit four times, you ain't gonna get to the end. But I thought if I could get to 32 each run, I could make it to the end. But on that second run, I just didn't have anybody around me to draft off of, and didn't get fuel mileage like I needed. So I just went the next run and just took fuel only on that next stop, and ran two stints on tires, or on the same tires. So yeah, I just had to change it up there.
Well, man, it almost panned out, almost worked out for you. You're going to walk away with the final podium spot here tonight. A much different strategy than the guys in front of you, but nonetheless, a fantastic finish, a great points day for you and that 9 team. Before we let you go from the track tonight, though, would you like to give any final shout-outs, thank yous, love yous?
Yeah, I'd like to thank everybody down in Performance Motorsports, all the teammates, you guys for putting on the show every week, all the sponsors, all the admins up in the booth. Yeah, we'll try it again next week.
All right, well, we'll be waiting for you. We'll see if we can't get you 2 more spots up and into victory lane. Mike, we know you're fast. We know you got the talent, and we look forward to catching up with you throughout the course of the rest of the season. But until then, my man, stay safe, and of course, as always, keep it fast.
Thank you.
All right, there you have it. Final few words for the man that walks away with the final podium spot here tonight. He's going to finish in 3rd after leading a handful of laps behind the wheel of that ChevyAccessories.com Chevrolet. Mike Rominger with a fantastic run here tonight. That's going to move us right along. Let's talk to the man that walked away with the pole position. Led a handful of laps, but going to fall just a little bit shy. Justin, back as a bridesmaid in the booth with us once again. How you feeling, bud?
Yeah, I'm a little disappointed, man. I thought I was going to be able to get that one on strategy. Me and Bailey were obviously in the room together. Knew it was going to be tight there at the end with the different strategies. But I think I got by the lap cars, man. I think it would have been a lot closer finish if wouldn't have got tied up a little bit there. So, but that's racing.
Well, man, does it? I know it's a teammate, and I know as a team, you like to see yourselves coming across the line of 1 and 2. But do you think if you had it to go back and do with the lap traffic, do you think you may have approached maybe that pass a little differently? Is there anything you could have done basically to keep Dutton out of victory lane?
Yeah, I mean, I could have tried to take the high side. Unfortunately, I have to lift a lot. I was on older tires, so I had to lift a little bit more going into the turn, and Bailey was able to drive it in, and he was able to drive it in on my high side. And if I would have stayed up there, I think we would have just had contact and wrecked, and it's not really worth it. So I took the safe way and took it low. Because again, I'd rather us finish 1 and 2 instead of in the back.
Well, I mean, your teammate's gonna appreciate that. I don't know. I don't know. I think I'd move mine, but that's a whole different story. I think that's why I'm in the booth and I don't have a sponsor on the machine anymore. But we'll talk about that another day. Uh, Great run, great race. You stacked up some points here tonight with the pole position, finishing in second. So the season going in the right direction. How you feeling about next week?
Yeah, I mean, I'm feeling good. We'll put in practice like we do every week. So I always feel like we'll be a contender. So that's just the main thing. Put in the practice, and I mean, you see Performance Motorsports up front almost every week, and it's due to the practice. So I definitely recommend everybody get out there and turn some laps before the Monday and Tuesday races, and um, I have a feeling we'll start seeing more people up front.
Well, Justin, again, congratulations on the great run here tonight. You're no stranger to these post race interviews, so you know the drill. We're going to step back, and the mic is yours.
Yep. Give a shout out to Performance Motorsports, Hyperdrive Racing, Sim Magic, Ayers Eye Racing Paints. You guys for putting on the broadcast for us over there at Turn 3. Everybody behind the scenes at Swift, Don and Andy for being in the booth overseeing all these races for us. And I'm going to go ahead and give a shout out to all the drivers coming out there and performing, man. I think we have one caution tonight, and the season's been off to a good start. So excited to see how it turns out.
All right. Well, I know the fans in TV land excited to see the rest of these races unfold. You guys have had me sitting on the edge of my seat 3 weeks in a row. I can't wait to see what goes on tomorrow night, and more importantly, next week when we're back behind the wheel of these truck machines. Justin, again, congratulations, great run. Until next time, stay safe and of course, keep it fast.
Appreciate it, Dave.
All right, there you go. The man that walks away second, he led a handful of laps, walked away, but the Performance Motorsports Pole Award as well here tonight, but going to come up just a half a second short. Justin Gann going to finish in second. Well, he's no stranger to these post-race interviews, no stranger to victory lane either. Bailey Dutton going to become the first driver to go back-to-back in the Truck Series, going to be the first driver this season to string 3 wins in a row with Swift. Man, I know it never gets old, but how good does it feel to go back-to-back?
Back to back is a pretty good feeling. That doesn't happen very often in this group of guys, so it's a good feeling.
Well, you talked about bragging rights, picking up a truck win, as well as a Xfinity Series win last week over your teammate, buddy Todd Craig. Now, does it make it any sweeter that you can tell him, haha, I've got 2 on you in just the trucks alone?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I mean, it probably it looks a little lopsided now, but Todd will come through and pull out some wins. So I need this little bit of cushion early on. That way I ain't got as much pressure on me later.
Well, I tell you this much: if he gets to Homestead, wreck him. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding, Todd. Just kidding, cousin Jess. Y'all don't. I don't want no trouble. I don't want no problems. Bailey, an amazing job here to start the season, man. Glad to see you back on track. Glad to see you back into your winning ways. 2 in a row doesn't get much sweeter than that. How you feeling? Looking forward into next week, and as this season continues, how many times do you think you can get this Tundra back to victory lane?
Man, I don't know how many more times I can get it. I mean, hopefully I'm just not using up all my luck right off the rip, and it'll string out throughout the season. But next week is Richmond, and I don't know if you know anything about Todd, but that's Todd's track. So we got to put some work in order to try to make 3.
Well, Bailey, again, congratulations here tonight from Atlanta Motor Speedway. You know the drill. You're familiar with how we do things, so we're gonna hush up and sit in the corner and look pretty, and the mic is yours.
Yes, sir. I'd like to thank you for putting the broadcast on. Swift for all they do. Reaper Speed Labs, Assassin Motorsports, Performance Motorsports. Another shout out to cousin Jess. I saw the comment. And then my girl Thim. We went to the NASCAR Hall of Fame and kind of fueled my desire to go fast this week. So maybe that'll carry on the rest of this week.
Well, man, we know you're going to be back on the podium. We know we're going to be talking to you again here behind the wheel of these trucks. We'll see how the rest of the season goes for you here, as well as in those Xfinity rides. Bailey, always a pleasure to catch up with you. And until next time, my friend, as always, of course, stay safe and keep it fast.
Yes, sir. Thanks, Dave.
All right, there you have it. Final few words from the man that walks away with yet another checkered flag early here in the season. Bailey Dutton going to pick up his second win behind the wheel of his Toyota Tundra. And at this point, I don't want to say can anybody dethrone the king, but at the moment, it's kind of sitting up there on the throne all alone. Driver's going to be chasing after Dutton for the rest of this season. What a run, what a night, what a race here in the Bankhead 125 for the Performance Motorsports Truck Series. And as you hear those familiar sounds in the background, producers hitting those buttons, letting us know it's time to go, we'll run down your unofficial race results here tonight from Atlanta Motor Speedway in the Performance Motorsports Truck Series, brought to you by Swift. Walking away with the checkered flag in hand behind the wheel of that number 26 truck, Bailey Dutton, back to victory lane. Pole sitter Justin Gann going to finish in second. Mike Rominger slides home in third. Fourth place tonight to John McMillan Jr. Al Likens back in fifth with sixth place belonging to the Tide. Number 56 of John Wimbish sliding home in seventh here tonight in the Bankhead 125 is the 5 of Gary May. John McMillan Sr. with a good run. He's going to finish in 8th. Ray Lane in the 44. Going to finish 9th tonight, rounding out your top 10 behind the wheel of that throwback Mountain Dew machine, the 71 of Todd McGregor. Jerry Cochran Jr. coming home in 11th with Ben Miller following up in 12th. 13th place here tonight is Shane Bliss starting from the back. Shane with a great run, going to finish in 13th. Tommy Haynes going to overcome some adversity, come back and pick up a handful of laps. The 17 will finish in 14th here tonight from Atlanta. Jerry Cochran the third, back in 15th. Lee Campbell comes home 16th, 17th tonight. Belongs to Stephen Ayers Jr. Darren Clement with early race troubles, walking away 18th here tonight. 19th from Atlanta, the 21 of Todd Gray and Romney with early troubles. The 7 going to round out the 20 truck field here tonight. And that's going to do it for us. That's going to be all as we send a big shout out to the race control and admins, Andy Starcher, Don Kidder, keeping all of these truck drivers straight week in, week out. Again, if you haven't already, show these drivers some love and appreciation. Join us in that push to 4,000 subscribers. Drop the thumbs up, click subscribe, smash the bell over there on the right-hand side. Get notified anytime we go live here on the Turn 3 Racing Network, whether it's myself or anybody else back at the Turn 3 headquarters. We appreciate each and every one of you, each and every time you stop by. Stay safe, stay loved, my friends, and until next time, we'll meet you in Turn 3.